evening, everybody, and welcome to Northgate High School for the Battle of the Creek. Anthony Schultz along with Shane Welk. Should be a good matchup here. Northgate High School doing well and playing a really good team over there in Las Lomas. Shane, right now, they are lighting up the scoreboard.
Yeah, at 6-0 with 20 goals for, averaging about 3 a game. They're definitely lighting up the scoreboard and only giving up 1 goal all season, and that being in their last game.
Yeah, they look pretty unbeatable right now, but on the other side, Northgate is playing well. They've got 4 wins already, and they've got Felipe Agnion, who, statistically speaking, guys, he could be one of the best players in the league right now.
Yeah, he's number 3 right now on the scoring sheet for the league in total, and with Northgate only scoring around 11 goals, he's accounted for 9 of their total goals, with 6 goals by himself and 3 assists.
Having a great year. Nick Young on the other side, and I'm told by Coach Tobin, and his players don't like to hear this, but Nick Young, also one of the guys who could be one of the best players in the league. We're going to get a chance to see both of them and 2 very good teams in just a moment, right here on Walnut Creek TV, where TV comes home. Stay tuned. We'll have the start of tonight's game coming up right after this. And welcome back to Northgate High School. Now let's meet the home team, the Northgate Broncos.
Shane Johnson, center back, 21.
Steph Padwan, number 1, goalkeeper.
Nikita Charsov, number 22, center mid.
Benji Elster, number 13, outside back.
Chris Barba, number 8, left defense.
Carlos Viata, number 11, center mid.
Ruben Lervog, number 10, center mid.
Brian Wong, number 5, outside back.
Daniel Altkovich, 19, center back.
Felipe Agnion, number 9, left wing.
Garrett Morgan, number 7, forward.
Reese Gaines, number 12, center mid.
Nate Walker, number 14, striker.
Colin Moore, number 6, outside back.
Johnny Hagedorn, 15, outside back.
Mike Ramirez, number 16, center back.
Nandu Girala, number 20, holding mid.
Trey Scheid, number 2, center mid.
August Ronhar, number 3, left wing.
Omar Tazi, number 24, goalkeeper.
Kipper Hollister, number 4, center mid.
And welcome back to Northgate High School on a very chilly but crisp and clear night. Anthony Schultz here along with Shane Welk. Battle of the Creek, boys soccer style, right here on Walnut Creek TV, where TV comes home. And we should have a good one tonight. Noah Rosen's going to be in goal for Las Lomas. Stefano Padawan will take that duty out for Northgate. And a couple teams, like we said, Shane, going really well, but Las Lomas just, right now, the other teams are just not staying close to these guys.
Yeah, Las Lomas, again, as I had said before, with 20 goals on the season in just their first 6 games. Only 1 goal given up, and that was in their last game against Livermore, where they won 3-1. They look to be just a high-scoring offense and also very defensively fit on the other side, not just giving up 1 goal, but destroying their teammates at times with some scores up to 7-0.
Well, let's see if we can get some more of that here tonight. And we'll see whether or not the Broncos can stay close. Broncos doing pretty well as it is. Taking a look at the DVL standings. And you got the Broncos there at 4-2-1, 1-1 in league. And then Las Lomas, the perfect 6-0 and 2-0. Acalanes doing well. They're one of the perennial teams. They've been playing really well. Campo Lindo, who had been one of the good teams, had some problems over there. Have dropped to 1-5 and 0-2. And I'm looking at this, Shane. You got a handful of teams that are doing really well. The ones we've mentioned, but a lot of the other teams in the DVL right now struggling. Below, kind of treading water at best. Concord's 5-2, so they're doing really well. Miramani also doing well at 5-1, but several of the teams kind of underwater right now, including Clayton Valley Charter, Alhambra, and Mount D.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how these teams pick up the pace along the season. Clayton Valley always a strong team, Acalanes as well. Northgate usually turns it around towards that halfway mark, but I would definitely expect to see teams like Alhambra, Mount Diablo, Concord kind of hover towards the bottom as teams like Ignacio Valley, Las Lomas tend to pick up the pace.
The Warriors are 3-3, 1-0 so far in DVL, and over this season, we still got a long way to go. I mean, the season's actually not going to wrap up until after Valentine's Day, about the third week, I believe, of February. February the 21st, to be exact, if you see the teams take the field. The Broncos in the home whites with the red, and Las Lomas in the burgundy with the gold numbers, as we are just about set to go. And there is a good look at Nick Young, number 7. Talk about him as this goes on, and we are underway. Pardon me, Northgate actually in the burgundy uniforms. So Northgate in the burgundy, Las Lomas in the white.
It'll be interesting to see how this game shapes up, because Las Lomas, while they have such great defense, only playing right now 3 at the back, it looks like. They could be switching later on to what looks to be a 4-3-3 right now. With only 3 players at the back, they tend to be kind of an offensive powerhouse, it looks like, trying to push the ball forward.
And how were you looking for an advantage playing that style?
Usually with 3 defenders, and it looks like they are going back with 4, but usually with 3, you'll tend to have a couple guys on the wings, and you'll have more people in the forward position, usually around 3. Making it a real issue for the other team's defense, but obviously the flip side to that is that you've only got 3 players back to defend a potential counterattack.
And Las Lomas with that last throw in, trying to get the ball into position here. Gets around over the sideline. Nice looking move there as it goes down the sideline, but out of bounds.
Yeah, a couple of good touch passes there from Las Lomas. They seem to be pretty confident on the ball. Northgate lacking what seems to be a little space right now. Las Lomas is really swarming to the ball as every single pass from Northgate looks pretty contested.
They're good, and now looks like it's going to be Kobe Allard, one of the captains, number 2, trying to cross that one in front of the goal. And a nice job by Northgate to kick that one away. Always gets a little dicey when that ball comes across the goal line. The face of the goalie right there, but good job by the defense to kick it away.
Yeah, Las Lomas switching back with both fullbacks and both center backs, so doesn't look to be playing it too risky right now at the beginning of the game. And
Saul Bronstone, one of the other captains, hitting the ground right there. We've got an infraction and have a free kick right here for the Las Lomas Knights. Las Lomas putting their perfect season on the line here tonight. And, of course, the Crosstown Broncos would like nothing more than just get rid of that goose egg in the loss column for the Knights.
Yeah, definitely. In a rivalry game like this, that just makes it so much sweeter for the other team.
And a throw in from the far side for Las Lomas. And so far, nobody really threatening just yet. And this ball going to go out of bounds again, and they're going to turn this one over to. It looks like the Broncos are going to get this one. They will.
One player that I'm seeing that isn't out there actually, Nathaniel Walker, top 10 in scoring right now in the league, seems to not be on the field right now. Either he'll start as a sub, or he won't be playing tonight.
Here's one chased down into the corner. They wrestle for it. Out of bounds it goes. Looked like Garrett Morgan, number 7, was in on that one for the Broncos, and they're going to have a chance. Are they going to give them a corner kick over here? What?
Oh, excuse me. Nathaniel Walker is playing. Actually, Felipe Agnion I don't see on the field at the moment. It'll be interesting to see how Coach Tobin wants to play him.
Trying to look for number 9 in Burgundy. Can't spot him right now. This is going to be a throw-in situation for the Broncos. They're going to toss it in. It popped into the air, headed goalward, and then it's going to go wide to the right, but not with much authority right there, so wouldn't call that a particularly good chance at a goal, but finally when coming close to the goal here to get the offense started.
That was actually Agnion on the header there. He seemed to be out of sight for a couple minutes there.
We'll track him down. At some point we'll find him.
But a little far out on the box to be trying a header of that speed. But at least Northgate showing some life on the offensive side as Las Lomas has been pressing the ball pretty hard in the first couple minutes.
Well, here's a team that you mentioned early on, Shane, that's been scoring all the goals. See, can they keep it going here tonight? So they've been the hot team, but the question is, can they stay hot here this evening? Some nice defense right there. This one's going to go toward the goal, but an easy chance here for the Broncos to kick this one away.
One thing I definitely look for in a team that scores our averages a little over 3 goals per game is that how much they lack on the defensive side, which is why I was so surprised that up until last game they hadn't even given up a goal yet, which shows just how well that defensive line has gelled together in such a short amount of time. Just 6 games together, and they're already giving up technically an average of less than 0.2 goals a game.
Wow. There was Padawan out there in goal. Good shot stopper, very agile guy, good distributor. And he may have a chance to play some at the next level. And actually, he is a pilot. And he's already flying planes, I'm told.
Wow.
So a guy that's, I mean, he's got the career kind of set, and he's still not even out of high school yet. There he is.
Las Lomas right now, and I'm seeing every time they've got an attack, it's tough getting their midfielders up. They, some of them tend to stay back on some of these attacks, which leaves the advantage to the Broncos right now, having about 4 or 5 guys back compared to Las Lomas's 2. So Las Lomas definitely has some speed to make up for that.
Well, that one pinballed around a little bit, but Northgate able to kick it out of danger. Just a couple minutes in here in the Battle of the Creek. Nobody with a great scoring chance as of yet, but a long way to go.
One thing right now from Northgate is definitely look to slow down play right now. Las Lomas plays pretty quickly with some touch passing, as you'd see right there. Northgate needs to really compose themselves and kind of get the ball moving, get some possession in their favor, and then look for an opening.
Las Lomas trying to kick this one across the goal. Here it comes, right out in front of the goal. And then a double team there defensively for the Broncos, and then kind of putting the kibosh on that one. That was James Ergood, number 22, there for the Las Lomas Knights. But immediately, Shane's good defense right in front of the goal. He had 2 burgundy shirts around, and this will end up being a corner kick coming up for the Las Lomas, our first one of the game, and here it is. Boy, and Padawan able to get the left hand on that one and knock it away.
Yeah, good ball in, especially for a first corner of the game. And Northgate, good job of staying on their men. No one really able to be free. But as what it looks like right now, Will Person, who's around the 30-yard line right now, nobody's marking him. I wouldn't discount him just yet, just because with no one marking him, it's an easy pass back, and will be a long shot, but with an uncontested, has good likelihood.
Second corner kick. This one a little further. There's the head. That's going to go look up and over the crossbar.
Great chance there from Las Lomas.
Yeah, that looked like a good one. That was pretty close. So a couple of chances with a pair of corner kicks coming from both sides of the field, but The Knights come up empty, and now we have a whistle stopping action.
Already 4 shots for Las Lomas just inside of 8 minutes, and showing absolutely no faults within their defensive line. So this strong team looks to be already starting out strong in the first couple minutes of this game.
Yeah, even though it's 0-0, we are spending a lot more time on the Bronco end of the field.
Yeah, and that's how games usually go for this Knights team. Northgate a little frantic looking right now. If they can just compose themselves, a good chance will be coming.
It's almost something started there. That one kind of kicked away from one of their players. It was Colin Moore. And that's kind of such a big part of being a good soccer player. When that ball comes to you, there's Colin right there, able to get it into your chest, get it to your feet quickly so you can start doing something with it.
Yeah, the problem that Las Lomas creates, though, is...
Here's one ahead. No offsides there. This was going to be kicked wide left of the goal, and that was the best chance so far for the Broncos.
Yeah, that actually plays into what I'd been saying. The Las Lomas' pressure is so physical, and their presence is always on you that it forces Northgate to take either a bad pass, a bad touch, and right there a bad shot. And Northgate really isn't able to settle the ball on their own terms. Las Lomas is just kind of creating the flow of this game.
It was Nathaniel Walker with that last shot. Left it a bit wide. Didn't get a whole lot of steam on it, but at least there was Northgate showing us some offensive life.
Yeah, Northgate, if they could look to keep trying to find those little holes in this Las Lomas defense, and then you have guys like Walker, Ognion, who are able to just kind of control the ball for a second, take a few dribbles and either find an open man or take a better shot, not like an ill-advised shot as the one Walker just took.
Here's one coming back. Northgate able to keep it away. For Mark Tobin's group, this is his first year, 500 record for the club last year. Missed the NCS the previous 2 seasons. And actually, Tobin last year coached, he had the girls squad, and they turned in a fantastic season, losing only once all season long. And actually, they did not lose a league game last year. Here's one sent ahead and quickly kicked out of bounds.
James Ergud, that was, who has been what seems like all over the field in the first 10 minutes now.
Called his name a number of times already. Throwing up coming here for the Broncos. And then there's Ergud right there kicking out of bounds again.
Northgate, not a lot of guys come into the ball right now. Las Lomas, really good job of swarming whatever player has it. Each person has one man on, but once he touches the ball, it's quickly 3.
And this one back out of bounds again. I'll tell you, the girls last year under Tobin went unbeaten in the league, got to the NCS semifinals, and were beaten on a last-second goal by Montgomery, who ended up winning all of Northern California. So Tobin with the ladies last year, they had a pretty remarkable year, kind of ended there on a last-second goal to Montgomery, but still a fine year nonetheless.
Tough scoring position here for Garrett Morgan, or what now looks to be Colin Moore. Usually with a throw-in right next to the corner, you just want to get as much power as exactly what he does there.
They try to get that ball out in front of the goal. Kicked away. Here are the Knights. Some nice passing here, and then actually behind one of their players who will have to chase it down. And that was August Ronar. And this one will go out of bounds on the far side.
Yeah, Las Lomas right now really playing some good defense and offense, but lacking a midfield, it seems like. They've got guys kind of flowing wherever. It's almost like a free-flow type of offense without any sort of stuck positioning. This must be either what plays into their great offensive strength or what Northgate's creating little problems right now.
Yeah, Coach Tobin told me about one thing about some of the guy players here, they're so athletic and they run around a lot. Unfortunately, he said that sometimes they run themselves out of position and out of system, and that can play into the opponent's hands.
Yeah, system is everything that you practice, and when you get out of system, you get out of sync, and when you get out of sync, there's almost no flow with your offense or your defense. Really, it's not really a well-oiled machine as Las Lomas has been throughout this start of the year.
Here's one kicked ahead. Defense flowing backwards. Here come the Knights on the attack. Got a couple of trailers, and this one's going to be kicked out of bounds. And really a nice play that time by, it was number 19, Daniel Nutkovich, senior midfielder. Kind of looked like the Knights had something going on right there, but Nutkovich able to knock it out of bounds.
Yeah, Northgate right now on the defensive side, Las Lomas playing a lot of one-on-two ball. Basically, one of their players trying to take on a squadron of players. If they can get more team-oriented and find either any player surrounding them for some open spaces, may have a little better luck going forward.
Northgate back on the attack. This one a little bit too far.
Beautiful passing right now from Las Lomas. Northgate kind of wandering around looking who to cover.
Las Lomas dumping it ahead. And there's one tapped, and this ball headed goalward and score! So you talked about this offense exploding, and they explode right there, and it looks like it's going to be Colby Allard who's getting the goal. And boy, I thought they were going to get the offside call there, but Allard was good. He was onside, able to make the kick and get it past the goalie, Stefano Padawan, and just like that, it's 1-0.
Yeah, that was a great chip shot there from Allard. It perfectly touched in over Padawan, and one of the kind of the unsung part of that whole goal was the incredible through ball there. It was a beautiful ball that played right into the feet of Allard, and all he had to do is a little chip to put it away, but perfect play there from the Knights.
No, and he seemed to play it so well. I mean, not only do you have to get the pass, get away from the defender, but you also got to make sure you're onside. I mean, there's a lot going on there. It's not just go out and get the ball.
Exactly, great positioning. And right now, look for the Northgate to be pretty heavy on the attack right now. This is the best time to catch a defense out of sync right after they give up a goal. Northgate could look for a quick answer here, but Las Lomas, again, just a beautiful play between a couple players there.
Yeah, and there's a situation right there where the ball bounces off, I think it's Morgan's foot, and he just can't quite keep it close enough to make a play on the ball. That has got to be one of those super valuable skills for the field players.
And a little head shake there from Coach Tobin after that poor pass up to Nathaniel Walker there. Northgate, again, not really trying to gain any sort of possession on this game. They're just playing right into the hands of Las Lomas, and they're going to need a quick switch fast right now if they're not going to be able to get the ball to their forwards at all. Most of their attacks on the other end are attempted through balls to some of their forwards like Walker or Ognion or even Morgan, but none of those able to get through.
Gonna have a throw in here. It looks like they had to go chase down. They had to go chase down the ball. And a good-looking throw right there. That one's going to be headed into the goal. Boy, beautifully done. Willie Stanko, number 8, the second goal already for Las Lomas. And, boy, that, the goal was great. The heading was great, but that throw was wonderful.
Yeah, Kirk Wilson on the throw there. That was just as good as a corner. Northgate, not much you can do there when you've got a guy like Stanko who's a head taller than most of their defenders, and just a perfect throw from Wilson. I have not seen a throw that well placed right in the middle in a while. That's a great job by Las Lomas, again, having great play between a couple players.
Don't let the baseball coach see. He's going to want you to play right field and throw people out at third base. And here one that comes through, and it looks like the Knights are going to dodge a bullet. Right there, it looked like Noah Rosen was well out of goal, and the ball was not close to him, but there were no burgundy shirts around to take advantage.
Yeah, again, after giving up a goal, that's the time that your defense is most
vulnerable.
Most vulnerable, and right there, the Knights have shown it twice now, but Northgate unable to capitalize.
Well, that was almost that situation. Score on one end, come back and score on the other. Here's some nice passing going on here. Going to send this one ahead. And Colby Allard again looking for some room. Sends this one across the field.
An offside call right there. Almost tried to get away with it, getting back behind, back in front of the line. But right now, Northgate down 2-0 early, not even halfway through the first half. I would look to see them trying to push the ball more, but right now, if anything that Coach Tobin wants to see, it's just get back in the system and do what they've done best all season long.
Well, we talked about their proclivity for scoring goals, and we've already seen two. Well, they've been potent without question.
One interesting thing is their top scorer, Felipe Agnion, who had contributed in 9 out of their 11 goals so far. He's on the far left side of the field right now. He has not been involved in almost any play. Northgate just completely unable to switch the field at all and get him the ball. And Las Lomas doing a great job of keeping it on the near side.
Yeah, we have not called his name due to any type of a play at all. I think when we're talking about him, it's because we can't find him or the ball can't find him.
Yeah.
So there's another, one of those things you're going to hear about it with football all the time is can you get the ball to your best players? And right now, the Broncos really need to do that. Down 2-0. Allard and Stanko so far have put the ball in the net, both for the Knights. Now we're going to have an over-the-back call here.
And Kurt Adkins, the coach of Las Lomas, has put together a beautiful game plan so far, as Northgate's been not just playing into Las Lomas' hand, but they've just been playing the game that the 6 teams that have lost Las Lomas have played all season long so far. And it's just giving Las Lomas that offensive hand where they're able to kind of score almost at will.
That gentleman we were just looking at was Coach Mark Tobin. This one kicked up and over the goal. So Northgate showing some offense there. This one's going to go out of bounds.
Las Lomas right there just subbing in one of the players that you had said to look out for. Nick Young just came into the game in midfield.
It was actually Kurt Adkins was the gentleman that we were looking at. Got my coaches mixed up there. And the Knights working on a 2-0 lead, and this kick not even close to the field, out of bounds. A throw-in upcoming here on the far side for Northgate. Oh, and headed backwards. Nicely done, but we're unfortunately right to one of the Knights players.
Las Lomas possessing the ball really well outside of this attack from Northgate right now.
Here's Northgate. Let's see if they can get a crossing pass out of this. Good 2-on-1. Here's Colin Moore. Gives it right back. And boy, just being dogged by a couple of defenders right there.
Yeah, with Northgate only possessing the ball about 30-35% of this game, they've got to take their chances when they can. And whenever they've got the ball in Las Lomas' half of the field, it seems like that's the best chance they're going to get right now. Las Lomas, I wouldn't probably play it too safely for the rest of this half, as they'll try and build on this lead before having to essentially park the bus at the back.
Throw down the field. Allard again. Right into the defense, and they'll kick this one away, but good looking run at it there. And here another chance on this trip down the field. Dumped in, but a couple defenders right there. There's one sent goalward, and that is going to be taken. And a nice job by Padawan, and he makes a save right there.
Yeah,
go down to the ground to get it. Go ahead.
One thing to note with Las Lomas is they've always got a player behind them in space. every time someone's got the ball, they've got someone directly at like 45-degree angle to their back. Someone, just in case they need to give it up, they still retain possession. Just like what Northgate had done right there. But it's just a way to kind of keep possession and keep the ball flowing to try and get it up to your forwards.
Oh, here's a missed kick right here. Northgate's going to get it back. Boy, that could be dangerous, especially against a team as potent as Las Lomas. And this one's going to go out of bounds, and we'll have a throw in from the far side.
Las Lomas right now, it seems like almost just a kick to get it in the box is the smartest move here if they can get some of their bigger players to get ahead on it.
Boy, nice job to take it away by Las Lomas. Coming right from behind that time.
Stanko seems to be everywhere right now on the field, as he'll find Nugent, but great job right now with Las Lomas. They are, I mean, not just controlling the game flow, but just kind of able to move the ball to any sort of space as they'd want. Northgate right now not really in formation either, when their forwards and midfielders are kind of scattered around. No one really holding formation at the moment.
Yeah, Mark Tobin looking for some answers here for the Northgate Broncos, down 2-0. Last year, one of those years with the girls, they had seemingly all the answers, going 18-2-1. And the girls program actually here for Northgate on quite a run of success of late. And a couple of the ladies played on that team up at San Francisco State right now. Julie Hedgedorn. And here we go for the Knights, and there's one kick that's going to be wide to the right.
That would have been insane if it had gone in. That was a good touch on the first, just wasn't able to get his cleat around on the second touch there from Hadi Jobber, but good effort. Good effort from him as Las Lomas again piling the shots right now on Northgate.
Boy, and that one wasn't that close, but it looked like he had a clear shot at the goal. That was a good-looking chance for the Knights, but they come up empty that time. But here they go, right back with the ball, Shane.
Yeah, unfortunately, Allard was not ready for that through ball there, but again, it looked like a beautiful pass as Allard's just the front man for this team right now.
I wanted to finish that thought. Julie Hedgedorn and Kylie Ortega, both off last year's squad, playing now at San Francisco State. And the best player off the team, Shane, a year ago, Megan Frau, and now she's just a sophomore. So last year was a freshman, the best player on the team, and as a sophomore, already committed to Arizona State.
Wow. Pac-12 schools, definitely big soccer schools with teams like UCLA, USC, Oregon, Cal. That's just great to be among schools like that.
Well, like Sun Devil Soccer, not waiting too long to get her on board.
Current malfunction, it looks like, with the clock and the scoreboard right now.
Yeah, it is dark.
Hopefully they'll really get that up and running at the
moment. But we have the most important part of it, we know. 2-0 in favor of Las Lomas.
Yes.
This one kicked down. Here's another run at it, and just picking it up out of the air is Stefan Padawan.
Well, that's going to be a tough break right now for the Broncos as Padawan was unable to take the ball inside the box.
So he came out and then touched it. So this is going to be, I believe what's going to happen here is a free kick coming up for Las Lomas.
Yeah, if you're a Padawan there, you got to punch it out. You can't really expect to catch it when you're in that position. You just kind of dive, punch it out, and get back into the goal because catching it while an inch outside the box is near impossible there. I believe this is an indirect free kick, though, where they'll need someone to be touching the ball before. So you'll look to see like a quick tap of the ball before someone else kicks it. But smart play there from what looked from one of the Broncos defenders as he quickly got on top of the ball and didn't let.
Three chances at it, and this one way up high and no good.
Yeah, a little misdirection there from the Knights, but almost got themselves as they barely got an ill-advised shot off there. Right outside the box, that's just a perfect 18-yard range. I'm not sure why no one took a crack at it. But the Broncos look to be prepared for that.
Boy, that was a dangerous situation for Northgate. Whistle blows play dead here, but you have the two field players and then the goalie way out in front of the goal. And, boy, that's just one of those situations, Shane, where, talking about how good a goalie is or isn't, knowing when to come out and when to stay in is such a key to playing goal.
Yeah, another thing that is it's a lot of confidence there when you've given up two.
Ooh, here we go again. Colby again, stopped by Padawan. He can't pick up the rebound. It's loose, and he's going to smother it in front of the goal. But Colby Allard is just running all over the place right now. Boy, it looks like Padawan is injured on the play.
Yeah, and as I was saying before, that kind of play from a goalie where he's able to come out when he is in that plays a lot off of confidence there. When you've given up two goals like that, sometimes you're a little hesitant to come out, or when you have a clean sheet going, sometimes you're too eager to come out and you just want to get involved in everything. But it looks like he's done a good job outside of that one little mishap outside the box. But he's been pretty good for the Broncos so far outside of 2 goals off of the Knights.
Yeah, he has made a couple of good saves, including that last one, but unfortunately he is injured right now. So as they check on him, Stefano Padawan, the senior keeper for the Northgate Broncos. And Omar Tazi, the junior keeper. We might have to see him here in a moment as they continue to check on the Bronco keeper. So a pair of goals here in this first half. Allard one, Stanko the other. Stanko came off that great throw-in by Wilson. And that's where we stand 2-0, but unfortunately we've got the injury timeout.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm assuming there's around maybe 15 minutes left in the half. We'll see how much added time the refs think to add here. But he has not moved since that little scrum towards the end of the play. So it'll be interesting to see what type of injury it is, but not just that, just how this Broncos team can kind of recover. They've seemed to recover or bounce back pretty well after those first 2 early goals. But right now this could be a big loss, especially with Padawan starting to gain a little bit of confidence inside the goal too, getting more involved in some of their defensive play.
So Coach Tobin, his first year with the boys, spent last year with the girls, just the one season with the girls, coached in Ireland, Australia, also Virginia, and actually played professional soccer in his past. As we take another look, and boy, Padawan's still down, and we can just hope this is not as serious as it looks right now.
Yeah, right now, Padawan not moving as much. Luckily, he's able to get up right now, but looks to be in a lot of pain. Not grabbing any sort of par right now. It could be, not like the wind got knocked out of him, but he could have got hit during that at all. Could have got a cleat to the chest. You never really know.
They continue to look at their keeper in this 2-0 game. And not exactly sure how much time left in this first half. The scoreboard remains inoperable. So we've got a stoppage of play. We're going to take a bit of time here, and hopefully they can get Stefano back on his feet. And we'll step away and be back to Northgate. 2-0 game in favor of Las Lomas. Battle of the Creek right here on Walnut Creek TV, where TV comes home.
Saw you dumping your oil, now you're caught in a bus. Oh, Dan, you've got watching you. When you pollute, you play with lives. You can make us all sick, and you know that ain't right. Oh, Dan, we need to know that you're changing your ways, or we're gonna go turn you in, and you'll pay a big fine. No, you can't escape our eyes. Oil busters, we're watching you. We see your every move. Oil busters, we're watching you. Oil busters, we're watching you, watching you, watching you, watching you. A message from the Contra Costa Clean Water Program and Cal Recycling.
All right, there's Stefano Padawan, and they were trying to get him off the field and unable to do so, so he's still out there. I'm looking at my roster, and Omar Tazi is the other goalkeeper. I think we have seen him come into the game. He kind of stands out there. Everybody else is wearing the dark burgundy. He's wearing pink. Can't miss him.
Entering the field in goal for Northgate, number 24, Omar Tazi.
Actually pronounced Omar Tazi, T-A-Z-I, the junior goalkeeper, and he will come on now to take over for the injured Padawan, and will resume play. But, boy, Padawan still over there and on the field here on the near side of the Northgate goal.
Yeah, this will be interesting to see now how Northgate can kind of recover from this. They've got a little break, a little time to settle themselves against this high-power Las Lomas team. Maybe switch up strategies a little bit.
Well, they have resumed play here, and Padawan is actually still on the field. This is kind of unusual to see this. And there's a nice save right there. One popped over and sent over the goal. Noah Rosen challenged for the first time here tonight, and really almost looked like he made 2 saves in one that time.
Yeah, double save doesn't come very often there, but good job of Northgate being able to fire back. Garrett Morgan almost put that in the top corner, it looked like, but good save there from Rosen. But Las Lomas got to regroup quickly with Northgate on the corner.
Their first corner kick of the game, 2 already for the Knights. This one headed away with the wrong direction. Now kicked goalward, headed away. There's another one, and the defender's going to knock this one out. Oh, that was number 12 for Las Lomas, Sal Braunstone, one of the captains. And boy, some furious action going on right in front of the goal as Northgate really trying to get on the board here, and now come to the other side of the field here, Shane, and they'll get their second corner kick of the game in just a couple minutes' time. And this one headed out of bounds, and boy, that's got to be a bit heartbreaking for them. They really had a great chance with a couple of corners, but they come away empty.
Yeah, Las Lomas, good job there being able to cover again, and Northgate a little long on the corner. Not too many red shirts around, but good job from Northgate showing just some sort of life, and Las Lomas looked to be caught a little off guard for a couple minutes there.
But again, they don't give up the goal. So you've talked about that before when the Knights have scored and appearing to be a little bit vulnerable. The Broncos have been able to come down to the other side, but still with nothing to show for it.
Yeah, Las Lomas doing a great job of keeping positioning right now and moving with the ball. Northgate doing a little bit of the same now, but Las Lomas great pressure.
Boy, a nice takeaway that time by the Knights, and we've seen that a number of times. Bodies hit the floor, and they'll get up, and they're going to give this back to Northgate. I believe they will, but that was a good-looking takeaway by number 25, Connor Casey. And we've seen that a number of times here, too, where it looks like the possession belongs to Northgate, and then all of a sudden you got a Las Lomas player running right up behind him, taking the ball away.
Yeah, Las Lomas just an extremely athletic team, and right now, if I were them, you've got a keeper, Omar Tazi, who's been in the game for just a couple minutes, no work really Nothing doing so far for him, so I'd take a couple long shots here and just get him working a bit, and maybe you catch him making a mistake.
Well, here's a kind of a missed kick right there. Will this give the Broncos a chance? Boy, and now we have a couple of bodies hitting the turf, and then they're going to call this on, and it looks like they're going to get number 9, Felipe Agnion.
Finally, Padawan able to make his way back to the bench. He was on the turf there for about a total of about 10 to 15 minutes.
It seemed like it was a long time. He's walking under his own power, but his strides seem to be a little bit short right now.
I'm wondering exactly what the injury could have been, though. It doesn't look like anything with the arms or legs. It looks like it could be something with the chest, anything that he was hit with during, or maybe he's having issues breathing, but that's a long time to be down.
Just hope that he's okay and that he can return to the ball game. They're trying to chase this one into the corner, and this one's going to be kicked off of one of the Knights, so nicely played by Northgate that time, and that was number 7, Garrett Morgan, the junior forward. So he's going to keep possession for his team in the corner. Nice looking move by Morgan right there, but it's going to be headed away. Broncos trying to keep it in position here. Let's try to get this back to the other side.
Yeah, Las Lomas, good play there up until that through ball. And good job right there from Noktovich to be able to get it back to Tazi, but Northgate's still unable to possess the ball as they give it right back to the Knights.
We're overrun that time. Boy, and kick back to the goalie and Tazi, and every once in a while I'll see that. If you miss kick it, boy, you can really open things up for your opponent.
Yeah, they're either you've got a play drawn up to hit a man on the sideline and get something going, or get the ball out, because you try and place the ball too much, then you end up placing it to the other team, and you give them a counterattack like they had just done.
Yeah. And every now and then, too, Shane, you see that kind of the swing and the miss, or you just get a piece of it, and all of a sudden your opponent's got a good offensive chance.
Yeah, Las Lomas, every now and then they can put some pressure on the keeper in that situation. Sometimes they just get caught off guard. Sometimes they'll try a little skill move to try and get some space, and then next thing you know, the ball's in the back of the net for the other team. But Northgate doing a good job of just making sure they stay calm in that situation. But right now, if they can just stay calm on the offensive end and maybe get a couple more shots off, because right now Rosen has worked just twice, it seems.
There's conversation between the officials and Coach Kurt Atkins, and he appeared to be satisfied with whatever explanation that he was given. You may have been wondering, why Las Lomas gets to throw it in. Or
with the
take a look over there.
With the clock malfunctioning here, I mean, halftime is minutes away. Already dipping in extra time right now, but we'll see how much the referees will give for that injury from Padawan.
There's one rolling out to Tazi. It's just funny when you look at the colors with the field players, and then the goalies look like peacocks.
Yeah, they kind of have their own say.
They stand out.
They've got their own say.
And this one going to go out of bounds on the far side. So first half should be coming to an end here momentarily. It's still a 2-0 lead here for Las Lomas. Allard and Stanko getting the goals. But Northgate's had a few chances as well.
One interesting thing I'm looking at with Northgate here is they're pushing everybody up, but they're not able to kind of switch the field or get more players involved. They've got 9 guys up able to be scoring threats, or 8 guys up, and only 2 or 3 of them are actually seeing the ball, as the other ones aren't really going into space. We're kind of staying in space.
And as I talked to Coach Tobin earlier in the week, he had a lot of great things to say about Nick Young. And so far, Nick has not I haven't heard too much from him so far. They said that they could nullify him, that would go a long way to winning this match. And so far, they've apparently done a very good job of it.
Yeah, Young doesn't seem to be on the scoring sheet as much. He's looks to be a little bit of a guy that goes unknown, really, where he's just making subtle moves throughout the whole game and controlling the field, but not really that big play type of guy. More in football terms, almost he's kind of just that offensive lineman that glues everything together. But he definitely is playing a solid game right now. And Northgate's strategy to contain him, it could be just to shadow him, just have a guy whose purpose is just to stay on and make sure that Young doesn't get into any space.
This one booted into the air. Allard going up there, couldn't get ahead on that one. We're going to keep it from going out of bounds. Allard's got it back, trying to get a cross kick, and it's going to be taken away by the defense. Nicely done that time by the Broncos.
Now, if you're Broncos here, you got to get the ball in some space to any forward there, but they're kind of doing in hockey what's called a dump and chase, where you just kind of send it down and hope someone comes up with it, but not
exactly high percentage offense.
No, especially in soccer, close to 0%.
Yeah, especially when you dump it in, and the only two guys that are really have a chance to get the ball have different colored jerseys on.
Yeah, right now, if you're Northgate, when you've at least got a shot to get it in the box, put a couple guys in there and kind of look to maybe a little touch pass for a different player like Ognion or Morgan to get a good foot on it. But right now, Las Lomas doing a great job of keeping it away.
And this one dumped in. Everybody's circling and taken out of the air. Nicely done that time by Noah Rosen.
Good ball in there from the Broncos. Maybe a little farther out would have been better, just so Rosen wouldn't have the best chance to come out and get it. But the Broncos, it seems every 3 or 4 minutes they'll get one semi-chance in there. But only once we've seen them have really a good shot at getting on the score sheet. But they've done a great job of containing Las Lomas in the past 20 minutes.
Yeah, still down only 2-0. Having a few chances of their own. It could be closer, certainly. And here they go again. Broncos, they've got an open man here on the side. They're going to go down into the corner. And can they keep it in bounds? They can't.
Yeah,
well, here's one headed away.
They play with just so much speed. They're able to not just get back, but able to go on the counterattack within seconds. And Northgate countering the speed pretty well, but not able to counter just that type of play, where they're able to kind of keep up with their men, but not able to keep up with the speed of the game, it seems like. Northgate can't really slow it down to their tempo.
After the throw-in, this one kicked out. They're going to have one-on-one, and this one will get kicked out of bounds by Northgate. Notkovich able to knock that one out. Good way to prevent that breakaway.
Referees definitely giving it the full 5 to 10 minutes as to what Padawan was down for. But Las Lomas could be getting a squeaker goal right here, right in the end.
James Ergood was trying to get a crossing pass there from the far side, but it was blocked by one of the Broncos and goes out of bounds. So Ergood going to come up here, and I think they're going to have a chance to throw it in from the far side. Take a good look at it there. Here's Kirk Wilson, and we know this man could throw.
Yeah, not technically an assist on that one, but close to it.
I mean, look, the best part of the play, this one headed up and over the crossbar, and I got to tell you, his throws look better than most corner kicks that I see.
Yeah, he's able to place it perfectly where he wants. And Las Lomas again got ahead on it there. Northgate lucky that one didn't go in, but perfect headers there from Wilson as he'll look to do that for the second half of the game.
Boy, he is a weapon with that. I mean, Stanko's goal came off of that, and how close was that last one? I mean, that went right over the crossbar, did not miss by a whole lot. Allard had it. Now Whistle's going to stop this, and I believe, is that going to be the end of the first half? I think it is. So that will do it. One half of play in the books, 2-0 in favor of the undefeated Las Lomas Knights as they try to keep their record perfect here in the Battle of the Creek on Walnut Creek TV, where TV comes home. Stay tuned. We'll be back with the second half of action right after this. And back here for the second half from Northgate High School, a 2-0 lead for the visiting team, the Las Lomas Knights. And here are the Knights, and those white jerseys attacking again. And there's our man Colby Allard, who's just really played well here tonight, taking on two defenders. They take it away and kick it away, and here come the Broncos. So they got a shot here. Looked like they almost had a 3-on-2 there for a moment, Shane, but
yeah, Las Lomas did a good job of getting back right now, but Northgate a lot of speed out of the gate.
And this one kicked wide to the right, but not a bad start offensively for the Northgate Broncos.
Yeah, when you're down a 2-0 deficit, or when you see games in the pros down like 2-0, 3-1 at half, kind of the first 10 to 15 minute mark is when you can gain the most ground. It's when you kind of start gaining momentum rather than wait till too late, and then you're kind of scrambling towards the end, not able to really get anything together.
Well, here's a nice pass down into the corner, giving chase. There's that crossing pass. Going to be kicked away by the Broncos. Knights keep it into trying to get another scoring chance here on this trip, but Broncos able to kick that away.
That play there from the Knights is something that Adkins would just loves to see. That's something that's totally drawn up in practice. Just a through ball to the right side and have your winger track it down, cross it in the middle to two guys running in perfectly. Right. That's exactly what he's probably drawn up for the past weeks and what's been working for them for the past weeks too.
Kind of looks like a good give and go pass in basketball going right to the basket. Look good, and now we got a whistle here that stops action.
Yeah, a little bit too eager there was Allard, but Las Lomas putting on the pressure again. That is exactly what Northgate does not want. You do not want to have your backs against the walls when you're in a deficit like that. And Northgate sticking right now with what looks like a 4-3-3 formation, just kind of a standard offensive defense, averaged out in a sense. But if I'm Northgate right now, I'd want to push all my midfielders up, try and gain as many players of advantage as I can over this Knights defense, because right now they're faster, more athletic, and Northgate's got to make up for that with just common and collected passing.
And throwing upcoming here from the far side of the field for the Broncos, and see if they can make some hay with this. Still trailing 2-0. And there's that crossing pass, but knocked away quickly by the Knights as this one returned to midfield. And last year's Las Lomas team, very top-heavy in talent. They graduated 3 seniors that did very well, as this one goes wide to the left and out of bounds.
That was just pure speed there from Allard. He started at around the 50-yard line, or started his run around the 50-yard line, and he went all the way to goal. Couldn't really get a shot off there, but that was pure speed that none of the defense could really handle.
So much more balanced team this year than they had last year. Early season injuries have kind of resulted in having opportunities to log minutes and contribute for more players. And through the first 8 games, 14 of the 16 field players have recorded goals or assists this year for Las Lomas. And that's always got to be fun, Shane, you know, and you get a lot more guys involved there. Everybody's feeling a lot better about their game and how they're playing.
Yeah, confidence just goes such a long way in kind of gelling as a team together. And Las Lomas right now, I mean, they're just such a physical team too, and not to the point where you're getting, you know, whistles on you all the time, but to the point where you're just getting takeaways and constant tackles that are leading to counterattacks. But Northgate right now, their play is kind of resorting to crosses, and crosses, while great and put the defense in a little bit of stress, they're not an ideal way to score. It's not common to get ahead on the ball and get it goal towards goal. So right now, if Northgate can string together a couple passes and maybe get a through ball towards the middle, that could be the most advised way for them to get on the score sheet.
Talking about those 3 guys that were the top heavy in talent last year. Tim Wettinger, 2-time DAL Defensive Player of the Year, 3-time All DAL. This one goes out of bounds. 2-time First Team All NCS, and he's now playing at UC Davis. Zach Wilson, a part of that. Also Doug Jones. And both these guys with a lot of accolades. Zach Wilson, 2-time All DAL. And Zach's at the Air Force Academy now. And Doug's now playing at UC Davis, 2-time All DAL.
Yeah, maybe some big shoes to fill there for some of these Las Lomas players. Looks to be offsides.
Allard, and he's not even close that time. Even I could spot that offside.
Good ball there. It looked like no matter what would have happened, though, Tazi would have been able to get to it. But again, that one front man that Las Lomas has, and he's just got endless stamina and able to get to everything.
Here are the Broncos operating around midfield, trying to get something going offensively here.
There's only so much you can do, really, if you're the Broncos right now. I mean, you're down 2 goals. You got to hope to try and string together a little momentum run and try and get a couple of those back. But when you've scored 0 for over 50 minutes now, it's tough to get it just 1.
And soccer's just that type of game, as you know. You get a good run there, you get a good pass there, but all of a sudden you turn around and there's a couple of guys in different colored jerseys. Well, there's a nice play right there to try to make something happen. Kick back out to the wing. This one drilled, but that's going to be handled fairly easily. And that's from Noah Rosen again, and so far, Noah in this defense pitching a shutout. Rosen has been challenged in this game. We did talk about that one where he made really like 2 saves and 1 trip down the field. But other than that, not a whole lot of chances here for the Broncos.
I mean, one definite thing to note with this Bronco team is that up until they've played their past 2 games against Daugherty Valley and Hayward, where they had won 4-2 and 3-1, they only scored a maximum of 2 goals in their first 4 games. They scored 1 goal against Campolindo and 0 against Clayton Valley, 1 against Overfeld. They don't tend to get on the score sheet that much. 3 goals is pretty unlikely against a team like Las Lomas in general. So odds don't look great for Northgate right now. I think the only way to get at this Knights team is with just physicality, speed, and definitely pushing up, kind of going on an ultra attack form of play here.
Boy, that was a battle right there. You talk about the pushing and shoving. My Lord. They were really letting him play right there. There was a lot of physicality going on as one player from each team both battling for the ball. Here comes a throw in by the Broncos here from the near side.
Yeah, tension's high in a rivalry game. But Las Lomas winning the bout so far.
This one goes out of bounds. You're talking about the game logs here. And Northgate log. And that one tie came against Livermore. Their last time out, they beat Daugherty Valley. They won their first game against Windsor 2-1. Then talk about the loss to Overfelt. They fell to at Overfelt. The Royals beat them. The Overfelt High School out of San Jose. A win against Clayton Valley Charter. Beat Campo 1-0. A win at Hayward. And the rest you know.
A little physicality there from both players as Morgan was taken down for a second. No call, and then the ref might have missed a call there, as there could have been a makeup call with Ashton Marks also taken down on the play. Just a little bit of physicality between both players at the time. But some fans looking for a yellow there, but I don't think they're going to get it. This is just physical play right now from both, but Las Lomas has got to be careful. You don't want to commit a foul in the box and give a free penalty shot.
Well, the whistle stops play here, and the Broncos certainly been quite aggressive here offensively in the early going here in the second half.
That could have been an announcer's jinx there as a penalty shot for the Broncos. I didn't see that much of tugging on the shirt or what it looked like there.
Josh Rosen looking for some explanation there.
It could have been. I mean, it could have been a built-up of that physical play from before, but that did not look like enough for a pen there. Northgate must capitalize on this.
Here comes Walker to do the honors. Free kick, and he boots this one home. And just like that, it's 2-1. So following the penalty, Nathaniel Walker takes advantage, and the Broncos have something to cheer about here. The lead all of a sudden cut in half.
Great penalty there, putting that where the goalie, no chance of getting there, and just that right slot mid-corner there. Perfect penalty from Walker. Again, a little bit baffled on the call there. It was all players seemed confused as well. That didn't look like enough to be a penalty, but again, it was the referee's decision, and he gave it to the Broncos, and just like that, a little bit of life from the Broncos, a little bit of momentum too. They can somehow try and swing forward against this Knights team.
So the penalty kick from Nathaniel Walker here in the second half, and all of a sudden this lead for Las Lomas Shane looking a little more perilous now.
Yeah, Northgate just a goal away from tying, but one thing to note is that Las Lomas is playing a little bit more conservative at the start of this half, not on the offensive attack as much as they were in the first half. So,
what do you think about that strategy, especially now that it's only a one-goal game?
I would expect them to push forward a little bit to try and get a little more breathing room and try and get one more goal on the sheet. But Las Lomas, again, their strategy was playing well to what they were looking to do. It was one penalty call. It wasn't even a lapse in defense. It was just a lack of really caring of physicality.
Down into the corner, there's that crossing pass, but knocked away by Las Lomas. Nicely done by the Knights, and it looked like, by the Broncos rather, and that looked like Nikita Charoff, number 22, the senior midfielder who was able to get in the path of that pass and break that one up.
Yeah, Northgate right now, I would look to see them keep trying to push the ball as they were, but Las Lomas could be adjusting now to kind of get more of a balanced play and not look to possess the ball more after that penalty.
There's one put a charge into, and this one's going to be, let's get the goalie out from the goal, knocked away. Here's Allard trying to chase it down, and his kick is going to go way too far to the other side and is going to go out of bounds. Boy, we're getting some end-to-end, side-to-side action here right now, though.
Yeah, both teams now wanting to score just like at the start of the game, rather than having Las Lomas kind of sit back and look to gain more possession. But right now, if I'm Northgate, there should be no letting up on the type of pressure they had in the first 10 minutes of this half.
Certainly makes for some exciting action here. Broncos going to get a chance to kick this one away. Can they get some offense out of it? There's Nick Young trying to battle for the ball. He has been quiet, and Coach Tobin said that if they can nullify him, it would go a long way to winning. This one dumped in. Kazi comes in and he gathers it up.
A thing to note too is this defense I wouldn't think is too shaken after that goal. When you've when you've given up maybe a couple passes, a through ball, and then a header and goal or something like that, you're maybe a little shaken, kind of need to regroup for a sec. But after a penalty, there shouldn't be that much worry from your defensive line, as they've kind of been playing to the standard that they need to play at. But Northgate, just being the second team, not just the second team, just the second goal that Las Lomas has allowed all year long.
Boy, here's a chance, broken up. Ball bouncing to the near corner here. This one's going to go out of bounds. Let's see who's going to get this one. Well, you can hear the crowd really getting into this one, as even though we've had only just the one goal here in these first several minutes of the second half, Shane, but we have had that action and a lot of ball movement.
Yeah, that frustration seems to set in that first half for some of the Broncos fans, not having that much of a chance to score. But right now, with a little life, you kind of put everything behind the team that you can.
And this one's going to be headed out of bounds. All right, take a look at what Las Lomas has done throughout this year. You know, they've been perfect. A win over Campo, that was a 5-0 drubbing they gave the Cougars, and here's a whistle-stopping action. Then they played Clayton Valley Charter, a 1-0 nail-biter. 3-0 win over Lodi. 7-0 over Oakland. Talk about a drubbing. 1-0 over Vanden. 3-1 over Livermore. And trying to keep it perfect here against Northgate. And looking ahead, they'll get Miramani on the 10th, at Mount Diablo on the 15th, and then Concord. They'll take on the Minutemen. That'll be January the 17th.
Las Lomas here, maybe put a ball towards that back post. Try and get someone to have ahead of it. Maybe Stanko, who got ahead of them before for that second goal.
And this one popped up, curving off to the left, kicking. This is going to hit the crossbar of the football goalpost and come down.
That was quite the attempt there. That was almost a scissor kick in the air, and you got a good foot on it too. You can't really ask for a better shot other than placed a little bit down, but good execution on probably what he tries a lot after practice.
Yeah, the initial kick had a whole bunch of English swinging it to the left. It was a pretty good looking chance for the Knights, but the Broncos very thankful that one was high. There's a crossing. Broncos able to head it away. The takeaway there as they joust for the ball.
Colby Allen is absolutely everywhere right now. He's been going back and forth, switches the field too when he has the ball. He has no stamina limit.
He must be half greyhound. He's just running all over the place all the time. You talk about stamina and endurance, and some of these guys are really showing it, because you're running end-to-end like that, and you're in a number of different sprints, and then the physical contact with the opponent to try to get the ball.
Yeah, this Northgate defense could be a little bit gassed at the moment now. Just playing on their back heels so much in the first half, and then after being on the attack for about 5-6 minutes in the start of the second half, they've kind of gone back to what it was in the first half, with Northgate not too many opportunities to score.
Yeah, well, I think sometimes when the ball goes out of bounds, you can see everybody go, oh, good. I get to rest. Throwing upcoming here for the Broncos on the far side, as you see it there. Morgan has it taken away almost. Boots this one down, going into the corner. And the Knights able to kick it away. A 2-1 game here in the Battle of the Creek, right here on Walnut Creek TV. Anthony Schultz along with Shane Welk. The Northgate Broncos trying to pick up their 5th win of the season, and the Las Lomas Knights trying to stay perfect with win number 7.
Right now, Las Lomas looking for a big boot down the field, trying to get a through ball there, and that's exactly what they do.
This one coming back toward the middle of the field, but right there are the Knights. And you talk about accuracy in football with passing accuracy and things like that. Here it's kicking accuracy, and sometimes, you know, if you get that ball just a little bit shorter, if you're able to put a little more touch on it, you give your teammate a really good chance, but if it's just a little bit too far, it throws everything off.
Yeah, right now Las Lomas, though, able to definitely have some good touch passing as they should whip it in the middle here.
There's one cross, but knocked away. Broncos able to thwart that attempt. And this one will go out of bounds again. Looking ahead for the Broncos, after tonight they'll have YV take on the Warriors. That'll be on the 15th. Beret and Christian, that'll be on the 17th. And then out at Mount Diablo, that'll be on the 22nd.
Maybe a couple easier games there, especially at home. That's nice to see for them. But I mean, with this one though, just 2-1, but the score does not show the stats. Las Lomas has possessed the ball, I would say, at least 60-65% of this game. They lead in shots, tackles, basically every stat category, and definitely controlled this game from start to around with just 20 minutes to go now.
And this one going to go out of bounds, and looks like the Knights are going to have a chance to possess it here. And James Ergood's going to throw it in. Booted down into the corner, sent away by the Broncos. A good-looking takeaway right there.
The thing with Las Lomas that's interesting is when they have the ball, it's just such precise and accurate passing, and when they don't have the ball, they quickly retreat back on defense and keep the pressure on. There's no lapse in time for how long they have between switches of possession.
I think I'm seeing here some bodies hit the floor in that contact that we're seeing, and the officials seem like they're really letting them play here tonight.
Yeah, this frustrations mounting here for the Broncos on defense, I would think. But they sometimes in rivalry games you just got to let the players play, and right now, I mean, a few whistles on fouls, almost all of them based off offsides.
I mean, anything egregious, of course, you want to see called, but as far as from a fan's perspective, and here's one getting close. There's the crossing pass, knocked away. Can't get the rebound, however. Still stays in there, and finally the Broncos able to kick it out, but can't quite get it out of the zone, and now they do. But from a fan's perspective, I think you got to kind of like that. Let the game flow. Let it go. Sometimes I know, Shane, that you get some of the ticky-tack calls, and that's because they don't want things to flare up, and I totally understand why you do that. But then all of a sudden you kind of get that choppy style of game, which, viewers certainly not big fans of.
Yeah, ref's doing a good job letting them play outside of that one tackle there from Las Lomas. But right now, Northgate, when officials are letting you play like this, I would never want a team to kind of be physical to the point where it's too much over the line.
Sure.
But right now, you've got to kind of put a little bit more energy, speed, physicality out there and go at this Las Lomas team any other way you can, because what's been done right now has just not been working.
Well, here come the Broncos with this free kick. And this one wide to the right.
He might have actually gone for goal there. Loss of words to be able to go for goal from about 30 yards out. A little confused why, but right now, Coach Tobin could be short on strategies for his team as they really haven't been able to find any sort of sweet spot of scoring. They've come into this game averaging 3 to 4 goals per game, riding a 3-game win streak, but Northgate just unable to find any answers against this rock-solid Las Lomas defense.
So Noah Rosen had himself a fine game in goal tonight. Hasn't been challenged all that much. The Knights play it here. He and Josh Davey Winter are third-year starters on the varsity, having split time equally throughout the 3 years with their time in Las Lomas. Always nice to have some veteran guys back there. This one kicked away. Can they keep it in bounds? They do not.
I like to always say that midfield wins the game. Whoever controls the midfield usually controls the game. And, I mean, it's not just Las Lomas' midfielders overpowering the Northgate midfielders. There are no Northgate midfielders within them. Most of them are dropping back into a defensive role as Las Lomas is just controlling every way of play.
Here's that throw in again, and we've seen this man a couple times. This one headed straight up, and now a whistle stops play. A couple more bodies hit the ground. And the Broncos going to get it. Talked so much about Colby Allard, the senior. He has committed to play at Chico State next year, so congratulations to him as he'll keep his soccer career going. And he's one of the guys that leads the attack, and we've really seen that the whole time. He's really stepped up in his leadership role as a captain for the team as well.
Yeah, he's been just everywhere today. There's been no shortage of him on the field. And it's easy to tell how hard he's working and how much effort he's putting forward in his Battle of the Creek game. Right now, though, for Las Lomas, there's still 15 minutes left. You've given up a penalty kick, so errors are possible in this game for them to commit. So right now, you just got to stick to what you've been doing on the defensive line and swarm that midfield as they're doing right now.
Here come the Knights back on the attack again. Broncos able to take it away. Get this one ahead. Here's a chance. Keeps it in bounds. Nicely done. Here's Morgan. Crossing pass. Nobody home. And now it's taken away by number 22, James Ergood. Nice play by Ergood. That was a pretty good looking chance right there, but they could not hook up after the crossing pass.
Yeah, it looked like Felipe Agnion could have got a one-touch shot there, and Coach Tobin was furious as he threw his hat down, or threw his beanie down on the grass and was shouting at his team. But that was a tough break there for Northgate, as that was a perfect ball put in.
Well, here's that pass that right in the middle in front of the goal, but the Broncos unable to put a foot on it.
One thing Coach Tobin could have also been pretty furious at was the fact that when you put a ball in like that, especially down 2-1 with just less than 15 minutes to go in the game, you got to have more than one person to get a foot on it. You've got to push people up, and people have got to be aware of the situation at hand.
There's some battling for the ball right now. We have another whistle.
Northgate right now, if you've got a good long shot taker, this isn't that far away. And definitely Noah Rosen right now directing where the wall should go and kind of directing traffic on this part. But I would not, if you're Northgate here, I would not put in a cross. They have not been able to get ahead on the ball all game. If you've got a good long shot taker just 20 yards out, this could be a good opportunity.
Here's Charsoff to do the honors, way up and over. And it went through the football uprights, but unfortunately it went through the football goalpost there, but unfortunately you don't get points for that one.
No, you do not. You just get frustration as he hated that shot. The minute it left his foot.
Right, you could tell it wasn't going to be close.
No, he wants that one back for sure, but Northgate just needs to keep the pressure on right now.
And now another whistle. So did I say that they were not blowing the whistle that much and letting them play? All of a sudden we've kind of seen or heard quite a few of them here recently.
Yeah, they could have just been getting warnings throughout the game while play kept going, but now it seems like center ref has had kind of enough of this pushing where he's letting players know that a card could even be coming.
The 2020 calendar year marks the 49th year for Kurt Atkins in coaching, having started with the Walnut Creek Soccer Club in 1972.
Wow, you think he knows a lot about the game.
He's seen a few. It's his fourth season as head coach at Las Lomas, having stepped into the role after assisting Eric Greenwood for 4 years.
Boy, another throw here for Las Lomas. Northgate's got nobody able to get the ball, barring a kick out of their own zone.
This is going to be Wilson again. It is. And there's that good throw, headed up in the air, but it's going the other way. Got another head on it, did the Broncos, to try to thwart this attempt.
Good job there from Tazi to be able to get a fist on that, punch it out.
Yeah, Omar, a nice play right there. Kick back down. Can they get the crossing pass? They, well, sort of. This one way up and over everything.
Northgate backs against the wall now, though. Only a few chances still. Their best chance coming off of a whistle, and their second best chance also off of a whistle for a free kick. So Northgate really, a through ball almost seems impossible at this point, where they can't quite find a man in space. So they can somehow get some good play and draw a foul.
Yeah, Walker, another nice play there, but ball's coming backwards.
Fans screaming for them to push forward, but every time they do, it's just another ball into the Las Lomas' feet.
Yeah, this one coming forward, and very interesting looking side kick right there. This one dumped in. Las Lomas looking for that elusive third goal here, Shane. They haven't scored in this half, and a whistle's going to turn the ball over. Interesting note, both Las Lomas and Northgate were recognized as NCS Scholar teams last year, having finished among the top 3 NCS Division II teams with the highest team GPAs. Congratulations, gentlemen. It was the second time in 3 years for Las Lomas to achieve that honor. So some true scholars as well as athletes. And, of course, that is why they're here.
Still in school.
I think it still is the main reason why this institution is here. Sometimes when we do sports, we kind of forget about that a little bit.
Forget that athletes still go to class every day. But right now, Las Lomas just, I mean, offensively, after that first, I think it was around 7 or 8 minutes, they have come close, but not got on the score sheet since. This has been a solid past about 70 minutes for this Northgate defense, as they've held Las Lomas scoreless in the majority of the game after just that lapse in the first 10%.
Yeah, this one's sent in. Broncos trying to keep it in the area here, see if they can get that equalizer. Good looking twist and turn over there on the side. Boy, battling for it there was Garrett Morgan. Has it taken away. This one will go out of bounds. I asked Kurt Atkins about who you think some of the top players in the league are, Shane, and actually kind of distributed throughout the league pretty well. He talked about Anthony Fuller out of Concord, Diego Ramos out of YV, Alejandro Lopez, and also Oliver King also out of YV. So the Warriors well represented on the coach's list.
The field also now for the Knights, number 13, Will Persons.
Nick Griswold over at Berean Christian also was mentioned. But sometimes, soccer game, is as good as you are, there are a lot of other players, and we heard a lot about Nick Young, and he has really been held in check so far. I haven't had a chance to call Nick's name too much.
Yeah, he is
having a fantastic season.
He definitely is a guy that moves without being seen too much. He's always kind of in position. He's always able to filter the ball as he needs. More just controlling the game and not being someone that actually puts goals away. But every player in this Las Lomas team seems like they do their part. No one tries to be too selfish on the ball. And there's Nick right now, but everyone seems to just know their role and execute perfectly as they're nearing a 7-0 start.
Well, you love to have those talented players, those guys that look like a handball right there, and they're going to get Nick Young with that. That one took that short hop against him, and he just could not avoid making contact with his hands. But Nick's going to hit Nick that time. That was actually Number 12, Saul Bronstone.
Right now, a goal seems a little unlikely from this Las Lomas team, as I would expect them to pull back their midfielders now and just hold on for these last 6.5 minutes. But Northgate, if they can do anything, I would just say push midfielders up and even maybe a defenseman and just try and get a head or a foot on it towards goal, because nothing right now is accurate or really on goal. They've had one shot on goal all game long, and it didn't even come in this half.
Hey, make sure you run across it.
The only way to really get goals is to shoot on target. The only shot on target that's gone in was based off a penalty, which even that seemed to be a little bit of a shaky call.
Here's Viana with the free kick knocked away.
Let's get back. Carlos, get back.
Where Las Lomas trying to get this ball upfield. They had an open man near midfield, couldn't get him the ball. Now they do, but the burgundy shirts start to swarm over. This one done, kick down. Here's that man again, Allard, and this one's going to go awry as it's knocked away by Tazi. But boy, there's Allard this late in the game, still sprinting.
You know, that actually might have been a number 3. That looked like or I guess Ashton Marks that time. Looked the exact same. But.
Oh, I thought that was number 2, Colby Allard.
But it's almost the exact same type of play. It was a good job again, though, from Tazi, being a backup keeper, being able to come out as much as he has, have as much confidence as he has.
And he's certainly done well. Been challenged a couple of times, and so far pitching a shutout in the second half. So let's give some credit to Omar Tazi here doing a good job in relief.
This Northgate defense, though, has done a great job containing Las Lomas. Not really containing the amount of shots and crosses they've had, but doing a good job being able to at least get the ball out when they can, and doing a great job just making sure that nobody gets too much of a head or a foot on it when they shoot it goalwards.
Corner kick upcoming here for Las Lomas. Zach Miller, number 19, lining it up, pops this one up right in front of the goal, and boy, it looked like
hit the crossbar.
Bronstone was out there. He wanted to head it, but just didn't quite get a chance. Looked like a pretty good kick from the corner, though.
Definitely. One thing I question there from Northgate, though, is Las Lomas had 6 or 7 guys up, and Northgate had all 10 guys back in the box, which means 4 guys were essentially covering the front post, back post, or middle, which isn't exactly necessary. At least maybe have one guy available for if you want to counterattack or not, but nobody was up as they just had too many men in the box. That could have been a reason why they gave up a header in the first place. When you got too many guys, not everybody knows who to mark.
Here's the Broncos on the other side. They're going to get another free kick here. Well, trailing just 2-1. Clock showing 3:12 and counting. And this one up, knocked away, and then taken out of the air. Nicely done. Noah Rosen challenged again there, Shane, and he came up with a nice play.
Yeah, Rosen, good job of coming out there, knew what he had to do. Beautifully placed. I was going to say a back post free kick there is exactly what you got to do if you're Northgate, and that's what they did, and it was a great chance. But right now it seems like it's just a little too late as Las Lomas is gaining their ground on the offensive side again.
But it's still just, being that it's just the 1-score game, when that ball gets close to the goal, all of a sudden you can feel the excitement here in the building. But again, Rosen and that defense able to turn the Broncos away.
Yeah, right now Northgate's looking for a steal right now if they can come away with a draw.
Nice one. And a pinballed around, and you can see all the burgundy shirts around at that time. And now we have a whistle. And so we're going to get the yellow card. We are not. The Broncos are going to control the ball here momentarily, but boy, it looked like, I think that was Garrett Morgan, who hit the ground, and he is hobbling off. Clearly right leg injured, and they're going to have to go check on him.
Could have been a cramp right now as he's doing a little stretching on his calf. Could have cramped up a little after that kick, but dirty shot there from Las Lomas. Surprised the yellow wasn't given out, at least for a play like that.
And Colby had it, lost it, regains. There's a crossing pass coming from pretty far out, however.
Fresh legs right now for August Ronar. Maybe he'll be able to put something together on the forward position. But right now, Las Lomas is still just controlling that midfield.
Broncos will chase this one backwards and then kick it out of bounds.
Just about into extra time now. Northgate potentially have one more opportunity here, but right now, if Las Lomas keeps possession, center F could call an end.
Time becoming a factor here for the Broncos. Trying to get the equalizer. They did in this half off the penalty kick. Walker was able to put it in the net. That made it 2-1, but nothing since then for either team.
Definitely an instance here in this game where the score does not tell the game. This 2-1 win, or what looks to be a 2-1 win for Las Lomas, is definitely has the likes of a 3-0 win, it almost seems like, with just dominating every form of play. A couple scares here and there on the defensive end, but they've been just so gelled together defensively and able to recover in seconds, and just that midfield was just absolutely controlled by Willie Stanko. He was all over the place with Nick Young as well.
Knocked away. There's Nick Young with some fancy footwork, trying to get the ball through. Broncos able to get a piece of that, but that was his best footwork of the night right there.
He was almost just toying with those three Bronco defenders there. He could have taken a shot himself if he wanted to, but that just kind of shows how he plays the game. He facilitates to other players and looks for the open man rather than taking shots himself. Just great job there from Young.
So we're on the extra time here, folks. Broncos, no time to waste. They've got to get this ball upfield here. Give themselves at least one more chance to tie it up. Young going for it, couldn't get it. Here come the Broncos racing to the other side. This one sent goalward. It's going to be a one-hopper right to Rosen. So not a tough chance there on that near post, as Rosen's able to take that one away. But that's what the Broncos are looking for, some opportunities. Can they get one more?
I don't know if Las Lomas is going to give another chance like that again. They've been so good at keeping the ball and possessing the ball right now. I'm not sure they're looking to give it up anytime soon again after a minor scare like that.
Nick Young kicks it back to a teammate. Now they're just toying with it right now. And I'm always of the mind that you want to keep kicking the ball forward. You keep it back in that zone. You give the opponent an extra opportunity. They don't want to do that. Here's one sent up and through the goalpost, too high. And that looks like it's going to do it as the whistles keep blowing, and I think that's going to be the end of the ball game. And it's going to be another victory for the Las Lomas Knights as they run their record now to 6-0. Congratulations to them. And unfortunately for Northgate, they dropped their third of the season, but a very good game ending here at 2-1. Allard and Stanko in that first half each with a goal, and Kirk Wilson, we've got to mention the throw-ins here, the one that really contributed to the Stanko goal. And then in the second half, the lone goal coming for the Broncos off the penalty kick. Walker did the honors there, and that's the way we finish it at 2-1.
Yeah, this a great game played here by Las Lomas, and defensive-wise, great game from Northgate. They did a great job at holding Las Lomas after that first shaky couple of minutes, but Northgate offensively, just a little bit of gaps with that rock-solid Las Lomas defense. They are not the first team to fall to this highly regarded defense from Las Lomas, not only giving up 2 goals, one of them by penalty. Even that was a shaky call. Great job from Las Lomas all around, just controlling the midfield. and able to take their chances when they had them, which Northgate just wasn't able to do.
So Las Lomas goes to 3-0 overall in the DVL and look to keep their season perfect. They'll be playing Miramani. That'll be on the 10th for Northgate. They'll be at YV on the 15th, and that does it for us. Anthony Schultz here, and Shane, thank you very much for your help. Shane Welk on the call with me, and I think that was a really good game. And even though Northgate came up a little bit short, I thought they presented themselves and handled themselves really well against what looks to be the best team in the league.
Could be. We'll have to see how it shakes out towards the end of the season.
So that'll do it for us. Thank you so much for joining us, and for all of us here at Walnut Creek TV. For Shane Welk, I'm Anthony Schultz saying so long on Walnut Creek TV, where TV comes home.